Ascension marches.
Welcome back everyone to Total War Warhammer 3 and part 14 of our Kugath Plaguefather SFO Grimmhammer campaign. In today's episode we are closing in on the lizardmen of the Misty Mountain here. We're going to be throwing down with Krogar at the behest of Clan Moors. They're also fighting against the Crooked Moon. Sneaky gets there, but I don't think he's going to have any issues bringing them down. The fact that Croak is also knocking around up here in the north, means we don't have to deal with him in an army, but we do have to worry about him turning him back around and leveling one of our cities randomly. Kugath moving on over. I've got a fair bit of gold sitting in the back end there, but it's not going to be that much. How expensive all of our Nurgle buildings are. I'm going to swing all the way over and grab Hunuport and upgrade this up to the unclean copse. That way it is a little bit more defended other than just these Nurglings. Once we get up into some of the more armored Nurgle lads, it is very hard for the fans to do anything about it. In the meantime, we're going to continue to take normal kind of casualties there. We will auto-resolve this one. I'm going to continue to sack this building just for the experience there. Unsucker. Soon the Grand Duke will be ready to ascend and become a great unclean one. You, though, Sir Stuart. Locus of Contagion. We actually already have someone passing out some heals with the Locust. I really want to try out the Locus of Contagion for the damage. 62 to 125 has to be pretty decent to counteract how good the healing is. Otherwise, everyone is just going to pick the healing, and SFO Fenris does like to make sure all of the options are viable in their own right. Something I wish they did a little bit more in the main game. Lizards are back as well. I'm going to ignore them. Moxia can't really afford that many units at the moment, so let's just give you some great weapon marauders. Keep it cheerful. And you defend the gorge. Gragas should turn around and attack the Shambletown, but they appear to be preparing for us, so I think he'll actually turn around and go our direction, as we're much less defended. Birdie, you keep moving on through. Join up with Moxia. Have ourselves a fight with some ogres very soon. Says you haven't moved. You're going to stay here. We're going to have you just switch over into a summoning stance. If anyone does come on over here and they want to throw down with any missile units, they're just going to have 25% less range. We do need to come over here and take down a Shangwu. We'll get to it. Moxia's fine. Leave him alone. We're also kind of building up some of our infections as well. I would love to drop off. There is one more of the more directed plagues here, Nurgle's Rot, which is going to have all of our units dropping enemy melee attack and passing out a damage over time, which sounds very devilish. I'm here for it. Goral's Deathmaker was ambushing. Is he throwing down with the Skaven? Very brave. It's likely not going to go very well for you, but very brave. Blessings are passing out to where they need to be, and because I don't know who is here in the Misty Mountain, I'm going to continue to move up in a not march stance, which just means we're moving very slowly through the mountains here. We're going to have a kind of a split empire very soon, where I'm going to take the Misty Mountains, but likely hand it off to the Skaven. Same thing with Lamia here, as it's just not going to give us a lot of goodies being an unpleasant climate. Or do you jump into Moxia's army? And then I'm going to continue to have the Grand Duke. I would have continued to have him sack Shangwu, but who is on this side? Is there an army still hiding in here? There's Mingfan. Let's go into one turn of ambush. And then we can try to strike Shangwu. Sack it for a little bit more gold. On Uport. Love to increase control and give us a little bit of a movement drop for enemies trying to snooch through our area.
Bring ruin.
Nobbling Gorge get us anything else in terms of garrison? Just a lot more Nurglings. Leadership while under siege sounds pretty nice. And just extra growth. Cycle time for... This is only in the local regions. You want to put this in wherever you have your military buildings. Keeping creepers. Let's go for the microbial bog. Not easy choices, though. In fact, man, after all that indecision, is there anywhere we can actually build up the main settlements properly here in Darkhold? Gain much higher increases to your income just through that, so let's upgrade the Bitter Bay here. Only one positive. Control is stabilizing, albeit barely. As soon as that Skaven corruption is dropped down to 0, we'll be feeling much better here. Here, let's go ahead and make sure. Is it the green plague that's passing on around? I would love to give the experience one to the Grand Duke. We'll swing on in. It's not the green pox, it is going to be the crumbling ague, which on all armies gives us a little bit of plague duration and chance for it to spread, and then 200 extra experience per turn. Yeah. Enjoy. Punishment and a good deal more experience rolling on in. Not much for you to do but sit here and wait for Gragas to make his move. Bloody hands have failed their wall. They do that quite often. Grimgore is really the only one that succeeds. Nurgle's glorious eye rod is traditionally gifted through airborne sweat particles. For cooler climates, or climes, the pox can adapt to live on door handles, clothing, and children's toys. Lovely. That is, proper dark. Alleymen come. We take down Ying Gu. We get a Talisman of Preservation and some favor. Sold. Bring you sugar tea and plague. Well, there's no escape, Yingju. Or Yingu, however you would say that. Another decisive victory. If it's going to give us one that is not decisive, we'll fight this one on out, but the Cathayans right now are aggressively on the back foot. I'm going to take the extra favor. Beautiful. Talisman of Preservation. Get that work out eventually. We'll retreat back into our own territory. Maximum replenishment is tier 15. I think this is what we've been waiting for. If it's not, we have to wait another 10. 25. Let's go ahead and give you the ability to hit a little bit harder on your Rotfly. Barbarous gets the last point into training. Sweet business. Should have a little bit of gold to actually spend on some military buildings again.
Lord of Blight.
Definitely should be saving for upgrading Dread Rock. You're at Pig Barter though. What can we go for? Anything that's super useful? Got lots of Pox Riders coming on in. Just another set of Plague Flesh Poppies. Vigor loss reduction, weapon strength. That's only in this province, which we do want to kind of build up and wait for Grimgore to attack us, because he is deteriorating quite quickly now. He's friendly for a bit, but he does like fighting a little bit too much. Let's make sure we have plenty of frontline troopers coming on in, and that'll increase our income by another 100, which is not a ton, but little by little here. We can reach Misty Mountain. I'm gonna go ahead and offer to declare war on... Oh, no, not you. I'm gonna join your war against the last offenders. You're gonna give me a military alliance? Not very much gold.
Right, yes.
Your offer is a good fair one. For you, we will smush the lizards. I'm also gonna shove in one of these outposts. Where is a safe settlement for that? Is Kradtalman one of the main settlements? No, it's definitely not. Kradak Osgal is. So that is where we will slot in our outpost. Perfect. Standard of Seeping Decay. Pervasive aura of pestilence surrounds this moth-eaten banner, sapping the health of all around it. Indeed. Awesome. Now we need to build up 20 allegiance points, and we'll gain some more favor and infections. That is an awesome banner. Can we put that on Moxia, perhaps? He doubtfully has any decent banners himself. Talisman of Preservation, my friend, and then the Standard of Seeping Decay. With the Staff of Nurgle. If once you have both, you get 5 extra corruption. How exciting. The Nurglish Familiar. Do we have any more weapons we can add? I mean, the Trickster Short is great, but I'm going to go ahead and combine this with one of... Take these 2 Forbidden Rods and fuse them together. I have not really used that all that much on Kugath. Rock of Inevitability. Seems like this would be great on any heroes. So for Samoth, you now are able to slow fools down and make them incredibly weak. The ageless inevitable city shall always rebuild itself. Interesting. I don't know what that is, but it sounds awesome. Give you a Talisman of Preservation as well, since you're going to be in the front line. Cool beans. Okay, so Gragas is going to keep building up troopers.
None.
Once he attacks I hope he attacks the orcs instead of us. He's at war with both of us, of course. For our next technology. Now broken into this tier, so let's kind of take a look. Norse Infection. All enemies have lowered speed by 20% during battles. A huge drop in construction cost. That's likely going to be the one. Strain resistance, extra growth in frozen climates. Curse of the Leper for all red and clean ones. No, it's definitely Revel and Malady. Construction cost minus 20% for all buildings. And then we'll immediately go for the Norse Infection. Dropping everyone's speed by 20%, I think, puts most factions on our level in terms of speed.
Decay brings life.
We'll give you 4 Nurglings for a front line, and then just some more Marauders. They will be replaced with Chaos Warriors in the eventually, but very expensive.
My new plague is
Fight us some lizards. Decisive victory. Haven't gotten to do battle with any of the lizardmen just yet. Well, in a very long time, so let's take this one to the field. Embarrass us some last defenders. Okay. Most of our units, well, we've lost our Vanguard to play Plague from before, which is a little bit sad. We'll go ahead and just deploy our troops as close together as possible. Nurglings in the center here. Raw flies on this end, our flying hero on the other. Deal with those pterodons. Hounds of Decay. We'll keep you all kind of up front. We try to lure in the enemy skirmish cavalry. I'll just shove the Festering Stooges and one of their brothers here on this hillside. Cultist and Uncle Fruncle. 2 guys going straight down the middle with the other great axe wielders. These beasts are incredibly powerful. The artillery can stay up on the hill here. Blast that plague cannon in. Beasties. Glorious cluster of heroes. We basically just have the anti-Avengers running around. Let's go for Pox Riders on this side, and the Barons of the Bog up on the other. Perfect. Annihilation comes. Samoth, you just go deal with that Skink Chief. He deserves nothing better than utter annihilation.
decay is on our side. We cannot fail.
We cannot fail. Plague drones, you move forward and deal with those Pterodon riders. This whole group forward. They come, plague cannons are launching away. We've got a biplane coming in, so I'm going to mute, but we'll continue to fight this battle. Alright, they're hopefully out of range now where I'm not going to explode you guys' eardrums. Light boil! The health bars. A plague. I don't want them to lose their duel even a little bit. Nurglings are having a bad time, so we're going to go ahead and send some friends in, although it appears those Croxagore learned what Death's Heads were rather quickly. So rather destroy the Croxagore, you guys nom-nom on some skinks. And that should see them off. Waddle your way on in, lads. Just looks to be a little bit stressed out about being in the middle of that group. You land in the middle here, drop the heals, come on back in and nom-nom on those skinks. And then our caster here can drop down some First of the Leper. Let's go for you. Your leech on. Where'd the enemy hero go? I assume he got stomped out rather quickly. Oh, here he is.
Exalted hero of Nurgle.
Some off got bogged down.
Invoking the Fly Lord.
So many abilities.
Tear flesh.
Be able to break free of that group pretty quickly. Make sure Kugath is facing a different direction that's not towards our units, so you go that way. Otherwise he's going to be quite cool to our own boys. Send some plague through. Heals on this cultist who doesn't really need it. It is a slimy, toxic mess out here. Oh, rest in peace, lizards. Hate to see it. That is absolutely a victory. Let's get out of here. Alright, only 2 of our demons fell in the fighting. It's awesome to see. We are going to absolutely... Well, the sack the settlement for a bit of gold, but if we do so, we're not going to be able to turn around, so we're just going to go ahead and loot and occupy, take a little bit of gold.
Haul it to my lab.
Exactly.
Cougar.
So now that is Karak Asgal, which we are sending an outpost on over to. So should we rebuild this for 900? No, absolutely not. Next turn we'll just move on, and from there we'll hand the settlement over to the Skaven. See how much they're willing to give us for it. Excellent. Keep working over here towards Pestilent Decay, which will just be a passive ability that just deals damage to everyone while fighting Kugath, as well as dropping their armor. So for Kugath himself, we're just going to go for even more damage. Woundmaker. Evan can grab the protection. Little Sammy. We'll give you a bit more damage as well. He already has a ton. Throwing out legendary lord style blows already. Perfect. We'll go ahead and save a bit of this gold we have, or spend it on more troops here with Moxia.
Decay brings life.
Snag in some Chaos Warriors, great weapons.
Strength
Sold.
to
Would much prefer them to Marauders. Blessings of Nurgle re-unlocked. 50% more chance for the plagues to spread. That's not terrible. We'll save that one though. If anyone needs it, it's likely to be Moksha, but only if Gragas there comes on down after us. Some stuff. Let's swing on in, and I'm going to drop off. If the green pox in here. Filth regeneration. I'm sorry, what now? We get all this from the Skaven Plagues? Extra income? Filth regeneration, festering pool. Army abilities require proper technology to be unlocked. So I see, so we don't get... Or is this just showing us what the clan pestilence gets for this? We'll have to test that on out. I'm sure we would still take advantage of the Skaven Plagues, even though we're not Skaven. He's still Plague incarnate.
Lord
Oxia, can we lure this foolish army into an ambush? I would really like to try.
I will butcher any.
That's not a weak one. There's a lot of Noblar trappers. We shall wait. In fact, we'll come on in here and drop you a Crumbling Ague or the Nurgle's Rot. Perfect. Now back over to Kugath. That'll be our turn.
My body wastes.
Oh, it's time. The Grand Duke, is it gonna... There we go. Exalted of Nurgle, this pestilent force of demons has proven especially virulent. Nurgle has taken notice and wishes to place his most exalted servant at the head of this host to ensure his plagues will spread even further. Take my place, exalted one. I know it's basically they're killing your Grand Duke, and this Grand Duke, and then a whole new entity comes in. I very much like that they basically just level up and become a Great Unclean One, so they get extra blessed.
Joy fills me
Fardagus.
and you.
Well, Fardagus, that's an excellent name, and you look truly horrendous. No, your name is always going to be the Grand Duke. Welcome back. Fardagus takes command. He's transferred over only 5 levels out of 15, which is pretty horrendous.
Father
Let's drop off what we can, so we'll go for Inspiring Presence, Route Marcher. Definitely the Spirit Leech and Soul Blight. We'll just have to keep building up his skills from there. Lund of the Feeble. Absolutely.
Lord
Now our new improved Grand Duke can come on over and do some damage to Jinwu. We need the stacking experience. Hopefully we can summon in some Imperfect Vigor, and then the Hellfire Banner on our hero. Free experience from stacking. Endurance, and he didn't gain all that much. Fair enough. Do some channeling. Pull as far away from the settlement as we can. Summoning in some rebel armies would also be pretty great. Teleport is going to increase the income by double. Go for it. And it looks like, did the rebels lose? I don't trust this, so what I'm going to do is come out of the settlement into ambush. Because they're likely up in here somewhere hiding. Ooh, we get ourselves a envoy. That will be great since we own the Black Fortress. Might get some from the other Source settlements. Alright, well, that's about all we can get to for this turn. Let's zoom on down to Kugath and get to attacking Krokkar and Grartok. That is an entire air force, and Krokkar just rolling with some skinks. Interesting plan. I mean, that air force is going to be a huge issue because we don't have anything that can actually fly up there and deal with it. I have to kick out a few of my units for some more Furies. Might need to. There's not much we can do against the lads in the sky, so what we'll do is we'll pull one out of Misty Mountain and go into an ambush. Try to lure them on in. There's so many flyers. Just their little bombs away abilities are going to do us so much damage that we'll be able to take out armies just from that. There's not much we can do about it. Awesome. Fetch me a Skaven Bladder. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and pass this settlement off to the rats, so come here, Queek.
We talk instead of fight kill, yes? How can you best serve Clan Moors?
How can Clan Moors best serve Nurgle, you mean? Take control of the Misty Mountain settlement. You have no money. That is incredibly not worth it. We need to wait till Queek actually builds up some more cash. We'll go ahead and accept the mission to deal with the, we'll have this heading our way. Attacking them first is also not a bad call. Krokkar is in Astromancy stance, but you will have Vanguard unit, or Vanguard deploy. Move on up and crush them now. You know what? To war. To war. You're at victory with high casualties. I'm just going to send Kugath directly in right off the bat. If they want to throw everything they have at him, that will allow at least our flyers and other units with missiles, like our Death's Head lads here to try to get some shots in. You do have bonus versus large, so any of them that do hit a Pterodon rider with their very low armor will take a ton of damage. Same map we had last time, we can force all of the lizardmen through a choke point and destroy them. The amount of flyers is an issue, but if we can quickly deal with the land units, that will turn the tide almost immediately, because they'll start losing their leadership. So we're going to definitely lose almost all, if not all, of our Nurglings. Have some here. And here.
The Plaguefather.
Kugath and the other artillery piece. Rot Flies and then Kevin. You still want our units fairly close together. Are we trying to use the hounds to lure the lads away? That would be great. Festering Stooges here. Units of Plague Bearers trying to keep the others defended as much as possible. I don't mind having Uncle Frunkle out front to try to stop them. Plus we can drop down the Defiling Deluge to heal up our units around us.
Warriors of Nurgle.
Ox Riders on both sides. You guys up front here. The Beasts and all of the large or single entity monsters out front. Your jobs would be hunting down enemy lords and heroes. So Scarvet should stand absolutely no chance. Infantry. Beasties. And the boys. Beasts a little bit in front of the rest of the squad. Perfect. Get it going. Kugath, you move up and deal with Scarvet. You too, my friend. Scarvet has to go.
Their corpses bound for thy land.
Fire as many of the Pterodon riders as you can. Keep units up front that are a little bit faster than them. That way they're forced to attack them instead of anyone else. Scoot the units up. Chuck anything at those flyers, go for it. Kugath is in combat now. Drop some friends off. Send in the rest of the boys. You can drop down the Blight Boil on everyone that's trying to surround Kugath. Pretty huge mistake. Pull on back with those Pterodon Riders do their damage. Our hero here has so many abilities, just pop them all. Just pop them all. Victory is already within our grasp. Have these Nurglings fall back a little bit. Ultis, charge on in, break those blessed chameleon skinks. Or these fools here. Bold strategy.
Pestilence comes.
They're no longer wanting to engage on the ground. We'll just move up to the beasts. Looking like Kugath and his explosive boys take the fighting. Explosion probably did more friendly fire damage than anything else. Where is our other? He's still throwing down with some Pterodons. Want back. Use the old discs on him. Health. Yourself some healing. We're completely out of grenades, so it is a matter of just hoping that they don't have enough damage to deal with us, which they absolutely shouldn't. Need to save for Rot, Glorious Rot. And chuck grenades at that group. Deal with Scarvet. Millions versus Nurgling should be a fight we can win. Hillary piece, you switch sides and start blasting into these red crests. Comes the... Oh no! One of the Nurglings falls from the sky. give him credit for how long he's sticking in the fight. You, Kugath, if you can, turn and start chucking some of your Nurglings that direction. Extra melee defense. Point blank into the Pterodons is awesome. Start chucking some of your Death's Heads at Krokkar, if you will. Wherever Krokkar is going, we just drop down the Miasma of Pestilence to slow his attack. Kugath, you drop down some friends. Not gonna want to fight Krokkar. He's tailor-made for dealing with the large entity monsters there. A lot of Pterodons versus the Plague Drones, so let's go ahead and bring them on back. Rot, glorious rot. We can chain this down through to all of these skinks. Still under fire. We can't do anything about it either, which is hilarious. Uncle Frunkle, you come on back in. We'll just make a big old blob. Anyone's gonna get shot at by the enemy. I do not mind it being that group. Charge them. Start blowing up these other spear riders coming around behind. Move in there, Plague Bearers. Okay, you go ahead and turn it around and go after Krokkar.
Come on.
Got our great axe infantry. We can also bring them in and start cracking into groups of red crests. Defense for yourself there. Then charge on into the fray. Don't want to blob up too much. Speaking of blobbing up too much, Doom approaches, fools. So many skinks. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. All the skinks have gone. Melee defense. Keep plagues circulating. Kugath is easily bopping or Krokkar now. Some Moth the heals. Our Spear Riders, let's go ahead and try to get involved. Bring the expendables across. Which you can. First, the leper on the Black Death. It should start spreading around. Drop the melee attack of everyone in this group. Hound Dogs, come on in. We're getting rid of Chameleon Skinks. Runkle, let's Pure Leech down on Krokkar. All the ones that thought they could flank us got absolutely shemacked. We haven't even brought in the Pox Riders yet. Let's finish off these cold ones. I think your cavalry's scary. Do they ride giant plague toads? So the answer is no. You keep chasing off these individuals as they flee. Uncle Frunk will come on back around. Let's drop the stream of corruption through the fleeing lizards, and that's a victory. Awesome. I'm gonna do what I can to round up as many of the old ones spawn as we can, and I will catch you all in a moment. Alright, our heroic victory release. 64 of ours are lost to Krokgar's gigantic army of skinks and pterodons. Not too bad at all. We are going to go ahead and offer them up as tribute. You know, there's a ton of infections. Gold is what we really need right now. Beating Krokkar will give us 5 extra control for the local province and 10 more melee defense. Today, the battle is over for Jottl's last defender. War rages on, I have no doubt. We need ourselves a scroll of leeching. Let's press our advantage. I'll likely bring them together. How much? I know I did the 47 lost on our side. Krokkar will be able to replenish unless we can finish him off, so let's move on up, deal with him. And that's just a bunch of skinks as well. No fear. Skinks of nothing. Plus 200 that time, which is a bit goofy. That's insane. They gave the Chameleon Skinks a lot of kills. Let's take the tribute. Now we are weakened considerably. Unless another army comes up here, Kugath can kind of fight them by himself. So then we're going to come on in and grab the secondary wound maker. Oh, Kevin. Chosen of Nurgle we really want that extra recovery, so we'll just go for Excellent Perseverance to make him stronger. Gate of Nurgle, absolutely. Let's summon in some Plague Bearers. Let's continue to give this cultist more melee defense. Kind of like a little bit concerning with Kugath being so close to the enemies here. There's another army that's a little bit more dangerous in the background. We're in all sorts of trouble. It looks like they are struggling pretty aggressively down here, the lizards, which is awesome. That victory over Krotgar, I am out of time for today. I've been at Space Was a Total War. Don't believe a like for the like god in us. Sub though. See you all in the next one.